John Galsworthy. He was born in the year 1867 and died in the year 1933. One of the earliest writers of Edwardian era, won Nobel Prize in the year 1932 for his distinguished art of narration. Had an affluent background, studied in Harrow and New College, Oxford, studied law as his vocation, but he didn't pursue career in it. Traveled to look after family's trans-European shipping agency. During his travels, he met Conrad in the year 1893, and they soon became close friends, developing a close friendship. Galsworthy even wrote two essays on Conrad. His works were written in the wake of industrial revolution and urbanization. So we can see the reflection of that in his books, the society of that time. He campaigned for a variety of causes: prison reforms, animal welfare, women's rights, and against censorship. He challenged the Victorian snobbish ideals. In the year 1917, he turned down the knighthood, but his later declining knighthood was lost. His plays addressed class system and other social issues. His work highlights snobbish and suffocative moral codes of his characters. Talking about his first published work, that was From the Four Winds, which is a collection of short stories. In writing this particular work, he used the pen name John St. John. 1921 was the year when Galsworthy was elected as president of Pan International Literary Association. In this association itself, he donated his Nobel Prize money. He was too ill to attend the Nobel Prize ceremony and died a couple of weeks after the ceremony. He worked in hospital in France during World War One. Had an affair. Now, his affair is generally considered to be the highlight. He had an affair with a cousin's wife, Ada Cooper. They married after her divorce. She divorced her husband after 10 years of marriage and married Galsworthy. The character of Irene in Forsyth Saga is drawn from Ada Cooper. Notable works of Galsworthy include The Forsyth Saga and its sequels, a modern comedy, and The End of the Chapter. Now let's take a look upon plays by Galsworthy. First would be The Silver Box in the year 1906. Now, The Silver Box is a three-act comedy, the first play by the English writer John Galsworthy. It was originally produced in London in the year 1906 and attracted much attention. Its plot, it is a social satire on unjust social partiality. We can see in the play the disappearance of a cigarette box, which is the silver box, by the way. It leads to a comparison of the behavior of the son of a prosperous politician with that of an unemployed man. It compares the attitudes of social classes. Then came Justice in the year 1910. This play was part of a campaign to improve conditions in British prisons. Winston Churchill himself attended an early performance of the play at the Duke of York's Theatre in London. Talking about the plot of the play now, Justice Falder is technically the hero of the play. He is the poet around whom the whole play revolves. Falder is a junior clerk who forges a check to help his girlfriend Ruth Honeywell, who is already married to a man and is pestered by her drunkard husband. Robert Coxon is the senior clerk. He discovers that a check he had issued for £9 had been altered to read 90. Falder confesses his crime, his forgery, pleading a moment of madness. Falder is sentenced to 3 years of confinement. The solitary confinement leads him to jump out of prison window and die. The play ends with the words of senior clerk who has tried so hard to help him. He says, "No one will touch him now, never again. He's safe with gentle Jesus." Then came the best known Strife in the year 1909. Strife is a three-act play by the English writer John Galsworthy. Galsworthy wrote this play at a time when the rights of labourers were only beginning to be asserted. So, in the wake of labourers' rights, it is most successful of his plays. It was produced in 1909 in London at the Duke of York's Theatre, in the New York at the New Theatre. In both these places, the factory workers go on a strike in this work, demanding better working conditions and pay. The factory's owner, who is a 75-year-old John Anthony, refuses to compromise, and the workers are forced to endure months of hardship. Simon Harness is a trades union official, and David Roberts is the leader of the strike, so an important character. Man's moderation and sensible self interest, Galsworthy seems to say, will ultimately win out over fanaticism, but the process is slow, painful, and very imperfect. And in the meantime, the innocent will suffer for nothing. Let's look at some of the other works of John Galsworthy, just names. Discuss Strife, other is Loyalties in the year 1922, The Eldest Son 1910, Windows 1922, The First and the Last 1920, The Skin Game 1920, Escape 1927, and there is this work, A Motley. Now comes the most important work of John Galsworthy, the Forsyte Saga, in the year 1922. This is his well-known work, one of the most profound work of English language itself. There is also a BBC adaptation of this work. You can watch it, it's very interesting. Now this work, it is a Roman fleuve. Now what is Roman fleuve? It is a novel featuring the leisurely description of the lives of closely related people. So this work is a Roman fleuve series of three novels and two interludes published between 1906 and 1921. It is about the unchangeable trend of family decline and people searching for freedom through struggling with the traditional boundaries. So let's see. The first was the man of property, and then in chancery, then to let. Indian Summer of a Foresight. So these are the works of John Galsworthy. We summarize this video by a quote by John Galsworthy. Life calls the tune, we dance. Thank you.